Hello, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Diane Ronaldo, and I'm the Executive Director of the Open RAN Policy Coalition, a coalition of global innovators that share the common goal of advancing a disaggregated radio access network and driving supplier diversity. As you may recall, in September of last year, the leaders of the quadrennial, India, Australia, Japan, and the United States, tasked the Open RAN Policy Coalition to lead a conversation on Open RAN as part of the Track 1.5 dialogue. It is clear that the Quad leaders understand the importance of secure and trusted network infrastructure, and we are honored to lead this work on their behalf. Today's session is the second event since the launch of the dialogue. The workshop will commence with industry and government presentations on existing test lab activity around the world. We will then proceed with two roundtables focused on maximizing the effectiveness of test lab activity moving forward. We encourage participation and are eager for the conversation. I am pleased to kickstart this initiative. So without further ado, please be introduced to our first speaker of the evening, Mitsuhiro Hashita, the Deputy Director General of the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications. Deputy Director, could you please join us? Thank you for your time, and we look forward to your comments.
Yes, thank you, Diane, for your introduction. Hello, my name is Mitsuhiro Kishida. I'm a Deputy Director General for Global Strategy Bureau, MIT, Japan. On behalf of the Japanese government, I'd like to make a few comments on the opening of this event. First, let me thank ORPC, Diane, and Alex, and other staff for preparing today's event. Since last year, the Quad governments of Japan, the US, Australia, India have been discussing the importance of secure and reliable networks and the need for vendor diversification. And at the last Prague conference, held from November 30 to December last year, the four countries worked together to address this issue. As a result, we were able to appeal the importance of secure, transparent, and open 5G architecture to the world at the Prague conference in cooperation with other like-minded countries. And we were able to put together a document titled The Chairman's Statement on Telecommunications Supplier Diversity in the form of Chairman's proposal at the conference. Well, in the Prague proposal, the significance of promoting vendor diversification is clearly explained. It says in its preamble that a diverse and competitive marketplace prevents dependence on a small number of suppliers, particularly those considered to be high risk, or a single supplier, particularly or a single country in the telecom technology supply chain. It also says that open and interoperable telecom networks support its supplier diversity, contributing to supply chain resiliency and more secure, transparent, and reliable infrastructure. It also mentions that interoperability is expected to lower barriers to entry and innovation, increase market-based competition, improve network management and security, and reduce costs. I think it is quite important to explain such significance of promoting vendor diversity in an easy-to-understand manner with actual examples and to expand support for this concept. In this regard, Quad government welcomed ORPC's plan for convening a series of public-private events this year, including today's Open RAN Showcase. And we also confirm our support for the organization of these events as a Track 1.5 industry dialogue on Open RAN deployment and adoption. According to ORPC's following today's Open RAN Showcase event, tomorrow Open RAN test lab workshop will be held. And I also heard that the second Open RAN forum will be held in April or May. It is highly important to demonstrate the actual use cases in these events to explain the feasibility and usefulness of vendor diversity. In this respect, when the first Open RAN forum was held in July last year, carriers and vendors from Japan, including Fujitsu, NEC, Rakuten, and NTT Docomo, participated and introduced their efforts. Well, today, more than a dozen vendors will be participating and giving presentations. Among them are NEC and Fujitsu from Japan, as well as various other vendors from the US, India, and Korea. I also heard that NTT Docomo, a Japanese carrier that has been one of the first to promote multi-vendor technology, will also make a presentation today later. I really appreciate all of them for their participation today, and I hope that their presentation will be a meaningful input for the use cases of multi-vendor system. In addition, as a government, we'd like to continue a dialogue with like-minded countries, external to Quad, so that multi-vendor initiatives can be accepted in like-minded countries. We'd like to work together with private sectors on such overseas approaches. Lastly, I'd like to announce that there will be an Open RAN-related online event next week on 18th, next Friday. We established Beyond 5G Promotion Consortium, a collaboration among industry, academia, and government in 2020, and it held the Beyond 5G International Conference last year, November. At that time, it gathered more than 900 participants from about 50 countries. And at that time, the promotion of open architecture was one of the topics. So we decided that this Open Beyond 5G Promotion Consortium has decided to set up a subcommittee called Open RAN Promotion Subcommittee. And the kickoff event of this subcommittee is scheduled on March 18th, next Friday. And at the time, at that online event, global participants such as the major carriers and vendors from the US, Europe, and Taiwan will be invited. Well, for connecting information, please refer to the webpage of the Beyond 5G Promotion Consortium, and I'd like to ask President later for circulating this information as well. I wish you all for best for today's event. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Yoshida-san, for those opening remarks. As ever, we're delighted to have you join us and provide some insights, not just on what we're seeing from the Japanese side of things, who have been leaders in Open RAN since long before we have been talking about it at the Open RAN Policy Coalition, and but also for your insights about things that are happening outside of Japan and across other Quad countries. I think we can all agree it's been quite a remarkable past year and a half, as we've seen many of the investments that have been taken, in particular through Japanese companies like Rakuten and NTT Docomo and NEC and Fujitsu, as well as across our other partner governments. We will in a moment turn over to Deputy Assistant Secretary Stephen Anderson. But I think, are we still waiting on Deputy Assistant Secretary to join?
I think we are still waiting for you.
I believe we are. Okay, no problem. I did just want to then use the opportunity to mention to folks some of the other upcoming events that we are expecting to have over the next few months, and hopefully you all will be able to join us for those. In addition to the Open RAN showcase that is taking place today, we are also planning to do a test labs workshop, which will focus on the number of test labs that have been established over the past year or 2 years, as well as others that are in the works across specifically across Quad countries. Following that, we will have a security-focused roundtable that will provide us with an opportunity to discuss the security of Open RAN and questions that both government and industry have around that area. Subsequently, we will host over the next couple of months the second Quad Open RAN Forum. Folks who may have joined us for that first event that was sort of our flagship event to kick off the track 1.5 process. We will have a follow-up to that event covering a range of these issues under a single sort of umbrella. And then towards the back end of the year, we will look to cover topics such as financing of Open RAN deployments, both in the Quad and elsewhere, as well as a number of other key pressing issues for governments. But I did want to echo Diane's words from the beginning that we are honored, along with our association partners, the US Chamber of Commerce, KDON-REN and ASSOCHAM, to have been asked to lead this discussion, and certainly it is an important one, an important fulcrum of industry and government to make sure that this comes together. Diane, I wonder if you're still there, if we could perhaps pass over a quick question to you, because I know that you have recently been over to Mobile World Congress, and there was an awful lot of activity around Open RAN within that context. Are you able to sort of talk us through some of the things you're able to see on the ground at MWC?
Yeah, absolutely. And well, first, it looks like Stephen just joined. So Stephen, welcome. And thank you so much for being with us. And I was lucky enough to actually get to visit with Stephen for a little bit in Barcelona as well. Just briefly, Stephen, if you don't mind, to answer Alex's question, I was just blown away by walking the floor at Mobile World Congress and seeing so many displays and mentions of Open RAN. Whereas when we started this conversation 2 years ago, we were really on a 101. The who, what, and why of Open RAN, and then to go to the largest trade association in the world and to see that, it is the main topic of conversation. It was pretty heartening.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Diane, and welcome to Acting Deputy Assistant Secretary Stephen Anderson from the US Department of State. I will now turn things over to you for your remarks.
So thank you so much, and I apologize for arriving late. I was actually waiting in a room that was apparently the wrong one. So 2 years into the pandemic, you can still have those moments. But thank you, Alex. Thank you, Diane. It was great to see you. And you're right, it was absolutely phenomenal to see how present Open RAN was at the MWC in Barcelona. Thank you, Hashida-san. Good evening and good morning, everyone, wherever it is that you might be watching from. As you know, my name is Stephen Anderson, Deputy Assistant Secretary for International Communications and Information Policy at the Department of State. I want to thank the Open RAN Policy Coalition for convening this showcase and for its stewardship of the Quad Track 1.5 dialogue. I'm going to speak briefly tonight on how the United States views open radio access networks from a domestic development perspective, as well from a foreign policy angle. From the top, the United States continues to advocate for open, interoperable, reliable, and secure networks, adhering to the highest standards of trust. We stand for a vibrant and diverse digital economy that uplifts and empowers all citizens, and the US government has had many conversations, and for large and small, multilateral and bilateral, about these important principles. But the global telecommunications industry is at a dawn of a new era, or as Diane pointed out, we might actually be right in the middle of it. There are impressive developments that offer new opportunities by breaking apart the full stack of proprietary, closed hardware and software that suppliers traditionally have offered. These developments include open and interoperable approaches and architectures, such as Open RAN, that offer the prospect of increasing supplier diversity and market competition, while also lowering costs and improving security, both through increased supply chain resiliency and through greater transparency into the networks. And this means network operators are no longer locked into a single supplier and can better withstand the geopolitical and market forces that may buffet them. These are all positive developments, and are the reason the United States continues to stand for an open, interoperable, reliable, and secure networks at every level. Now, as a US diplomat, I tend to focus on working with partners and allies to align our foreign policy objectives. But today I want also to take the opportunity to share more detail about what the United States is doing within our borders. And as I do, I encourage you, whether you represent another government or a representative of the business community, to think of ways we can do better, or perhaps areas where we can work together. Domestically, the United States is doing a number of things across our federal interagency, civil society, and the private sector, some of which I will highlight here. When the US Congress passed the Secure 5G and Beyond Act in 2020, it required a whole of government interagency strategy to not only secure 5G, but also to promote supplier diversity and supply chain resiliency. A vibrant, diverse marketplace of trusted suppliers gives operators greater choice, lowering costs and driving innovation. The Federal Communications Commission is taking several actions to secure 5G networks against untrusted suppliers, most notably through the Rip and Replace order removing untrusted suppliers from networks nationwide, pursuant to the Secure and Trusted Communication Network Act of 2019. Additionally, the FCC has solicited industry perspectives on how best to approach Open RAN through its notice of inquiry on Open RAN, receiving more than 60 comments from industry, representing equipment and software developers and network operators, as well as those from civil society. The FCC has also established 2 new innovation zones in Massachusetts and North Carolina, which will provide platforms for researchers to investigate 5G and beyond technologies, as well as to explore the integration of Open RAN networks. The National Telecommunications and Information Administration in the US Department of Commerce issued a 5G challenge notice of inquiry in January of 2021, requesting information on how to utilize prize challenges to accelerate the development of the open 5G ecosystem. This was done in support of the Department of Defense interest in how Open RAN can assist in its mission. NTIA has also been actively supporting research and development through its frequent engagement with industry and through its Institute for Telecommunication Sciences. The United States also strongly promotes approaches to standards development that are multi-stakeholder, including with academia and civil society, open to participation no matter what size of the firm, and transparent, so that all participants know how decisions are reached and who advocated for what. We maintain a policy of technology neutrality so that the innovators inventing the future can develop the best solution driven by the best technology. Through this entire process, the FCC, NTIA, and the State Department have kept in close communication with the people actually doing the work and developing the technologies, the companies themselves. This includes through public notices of inquiry, requests for comment, and regular workshops and roundtables to ensure the policies and regulations enable, rather than hinder, the safe, responsible development and deployment of 5G. And in turn, US companies are in the vanguard of Open RAN development, drawing on their experience in telecommunications, networking, and other digital spaces. These developments include network virtualization, slicing, security, and cloud technologies now being applied to Open RAN. As just one example, Dish Networks is rolling out a brand new greenfield nationwide 5G network built around Open RAN principles. Now, if you track the press releases, they have signed deals with dozens of companies to build this network, literally dozens of companies, something that they can do because Open RAN means the hardware and software from one company will work together with another. Now, Dish touts significant benefits over traditional vertical networks, including security and the integration of multiple Open RAN vendors. Germany's 1&1, which acquired 5G spectrum in 2019, is planning to build a greenfield Open RAN network in Europe in partnership with Rakuten Mobile of Japan. It is no coincidence that these companies are able to start networks from the beginning are choosing Open RAN, or that incumbents such as Telefonica and Vodafone are staunch supporters as they upgrade their networks. Now I'm going to talk about our international efforts, and there might be some overlap with Hashida-san because I'd say that the United States and Japan have just been fantastic partners in this effort. The United States is building support for supplier diversity and Open RAN in multiple fora, in bilateral engagements, including webinars and workshops, as international consensus is key to ensuring global markets are vibrant and diverse. These include, obviously, since we're here, the Quad, ASEAN, APEC, the G7, the OECD, and the US-EU Trade and Technology Council, and of course, the Prague 5G Security Conference and recent Prague proposals on telecommunication supplier diversity. More than advocacy, however, the United States is actively partnering with like-minded countries globally to support supplier diversity in Open RAN through test beds and through training, and by working with regulators and policymakers to understand and enable these technologies. The State Department-led Interagency Digital Connectivity and Cybersecurity Partnership, or DCCP, which supports multiple programs to promote an open, interoperable, reliable, and secure digital economy, is another mechanism we use to promote and support supplier diversity globally. In addition to in-country programming managed by USAID, including its Open RAN workshops, DCCP funds the Department of Commerce's Commercial Law Development Program to collect and share best practices from regulators and legislators around the world and to develop tools to responsibly source and deploy advanced telecommunications networks. USAID's International Open RAN Initiative is addressing the challenges of Open RAN deployment in developing countries. We believe that Open RAN presents valuable and important growth opportunities for these countries, including local manufacturing and jobs. To capitalize on this opportunity, USAID is launching Open RAN programs in the Philippines, Peru, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. These projects will focus on and seek to address specific barriers to Open RAN adoption that the Open RAN Policy Coalition and the Open RAN industry helped us to identify, such as workforce skills, rural deployment, and equipment testing and certification. The U.S. Trade and Development Agency, or USTDA, is actively promoting Open RAN in developing countries as well, supporting local operators on Open RAN deployments. This includes conducting pilot projects, providing feasibility studies and technical assistance, and hosting a series of stakeholder workshops designed to support an enabling regulatory environment for Open RAN. Now, already USTDA is supporting an Open RAN project in Nigeria with special attention to last mile connectivity in rural areas. In addition, USTDA is evaluating several pilot programs in developing countries around the world. The support for an open, interoperable, reliable, and secure telecommunications ecosystem, particularly of 5G and future networks and architectures such as Open RAN, is truly a whole of government effort here in the United States. The responsible global deployments of these networks and the digital economy that is being built on them are one of the most complex digital challenges facing operators and governments today. The U.S. response reflects this complexity and tackles the challenges head on, and in doing so contributes to the global effort to build a brighter, more inclusive, more secure digital future. As always, we look forward to working with you now and in the future to bring this to pass. Thank you very much, and I look forward to the rest of the program. Back to you, Alex. Thanks.
Thank you so much for those wonderful remarks and for joining us today. And we also look forward to continuing the discussion with you tomorrow. But as always, incredibly insightful. We will now transition over to a series of industry presentations. We have representatives from Qualcomm, Airspan, Fujitsu, Inseego, NEC, NTT Docomo, Pivotal Comware, Radisys, Robin, Samsung, Sterlite, Tech Mahindra, and Worldwide Technology, who will be showcasing the various capabilities of their companies as it pertains to Open RAN. To kick us off, we will turn over to Gerardo Giaretta, who's 5G RAN infrastructure lead at Qualcomm, to walk us through their capabilities.
Hello, My name is Gerardo Gioretta, Qualcomm Head of 5G Infrastructure Business and Product Management Team. I'm pleased to join the Quad Open RAN Showcase today to share updates on Qualcomm 5G Infrastructure 2.0 solution and to talk about our commercial partnership across the Quad and globally. A few months ago, Qualcomm has introduced the 5G DU X100 accelerator card. These will accelerate the cellular ecosystem transition towards open and virtualized radio access network by offering a high performance, low latency, and power efficient turnkey solution. This card seamlessly plugs into standard commercial off-the-shelf server COTS to offload CPU from latency intensive and compute intensive 5G functions, such as beamforming, channel coding, and massive MIMO computation, all needed for high capacity deployment. 5G DU X100 will significantly enhance open and virtualized network operator deployments by increasing performance, reducing the number of CPU and cores required, and reducing power consumption and allow for enhanced user experience to consumer. This card will basically turn data center into high performance and energy efficient 5G infrastructure. There is a need and space for innovation in the area of Open vRAN. Qualcomm is well positioned to lead in this space, building on our leadership and expertise in the radio. Qualcomm has a complete solution from small cell to macro cell. Our solution can integrate both millimeter wave and sub-6 with global band support, which means they can be used by vendors and operators for any kind of deployment we may encounter in the future. Our solution provides a comprehensive Open RAN foundation and a platform to deploy innovative, high-performance, virtualized, and disaggregated 5G networks at commercial scale. One of the key benefits that is talked about in the industry is cost saving. Well, recent studies are showing that up to 40% saving in CapEx and 35% in OpEx saving. This is significant saving. Qualcomm has close relationship with many global operators and ecosystem players. We continue to work across the ecosystem to drive global 5G open and virtualized RAN growth. For example, on the eve of Mobile World Congress, we jointly announced plans for Rakuten Mobile and Qualcomm Technologies to collaborate to develop a next-generation 5G radio unit with massive MIMO capabilities and distributed unit, DUs. Additionally, Qualcomm and HP recently announced plans to collaborate to deliver the new 5G distributed units powered by Qualcomm Technologies inline accelerator card, the Qualcomm X100 5G RAN. These are real-world examples of the readiness of this technology. We are also proudly collaborating with the engineering team of NEC, Fujitsu, Mavenir, Airtel, and many others. There is a perception that because Open RAN involves multiple vendors, it increases risks. In reality, existing networks already comprise of subcomponents from multiple vendors. Open does not mean accessible to anyone. It only means that the spec of the interface is published, and connecting to that interface still requires gaining access to it. In addition, auditing closed network for security breaches is difficult. In contrast, Open RAN and open networks allow for the deployment of proven cutting-edge security systems that examine the behavior of the various subcomponents and use AI to detect breaches. Qualcomm is a supporter of the Quad's work on Open RAN, collaborative effort to stimulate large-scale commercial deployment. A private network is essential. We call for continued high-level collaboration statements by the government leaders, joint funding projects, including infrastructure and test labs, alongside collaborative feasibility studies for joint projects. Thank you very much for your time.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for having me in this Quad Open RAN Showcase event. And thank you also to Open RAN Policy Coalition for inviting me to speak in behalf of ASSOCHAM and to present our solutions. Let me go for a short intro of who we are. ASSOCHAM is an American company which provides a full 5G end-to-end Open RAN solution. Our goal is to break the status quo of how mobile networks have been traditionally deployed by providing high-performance radios that are simple to deploy and to manage, always based on open standards and interoperability. We provide 5G base stations along with support infrastructure for up to 40% less TCO than traditional vendors. We believe that in order to increase the security and resilience of the networks, we need to extend the supply chain's diversity. This cannot be done with just a couple of vendors. Our Open RAN technology means that our 5G equipment is completely interoperable with other vendors, unlike that of larger suppliers. We have already fully developed our 5G technologies, and our products are commercially available and already deployed massively. So let me start explaining about what are the markets that we believe that they are pushing for Open RAN. And this will match with our strategy and the portfolio that we're presenting related to Open RAN. So the major markets that we see that requesting Open RAN is public networks, so mobile network operators, carriers, private networks, and finally fixed wireless access. Let's start with the first one, public networks. So in which mobile network operators, we see that there is a major interest in Open RAN. We have a lot of experience to work with tier 1 operators. We have shipped more than 1 million radios, to more than 1,000 customers in over 100 countries. In 4G and now in 5G. 5G, we are one of the key vendors of the unique. I think it's still the only fully virtualized 5G network, commercial 4G and 5G network in the world. This is Rakuten. So we have been working with them for the last 2 years. We are deploying the idea is to reach to 50,000 radios base stations, 4G and 5G, using Open RAN. And this is a real Open RAN network, meaning that you have, for example, I think we are around 6 radio vendors involved in this network. We provide 4G and 5G. On the 5G side, we're focusing on the densification side, so we are providing the radios, the millimeter wave radios. We bring here our radio and part of the software, the DU, for example, in 4G and 5G. And this is a clear case of a real commercial network working with Open RAN. So it's something that is working, is existing, and is something that vendors like ASSOCHAM, can scale and can commit to deploy this type of networks. Another thing important to highlight is that, as I mentioned at the beginning, we are very focused on bringing a solution that is easy to deploy and manage, and this can be shown here in the number of awards that we received on a yearly basis. 2021, we received 3 awards. One for excellence in commercial deployment, Open RAN, for the Rakuten and the millimeter wave, together with Rakuten is our partner there. And then recently, 3 months ago, December 2021, we received 2 awards from Fierce Innovation Wireless. One for private networks and the other one for fixed wireless access. And this is also that, as I mentioned before, these are the markets that we are targeting. So we can see that the portfolio we have matched nicely for all these 3 markets. Let's go to private networks. Private networks normally, basically is networks that are focused for a specific use case and vertical. Could be factories, for example, or enterprise, or hospitals, or oil and gas. So now 5G has been a very well adopted technology, and there's a lot of interest here. We have developed, we have deployed last year more than 70 private networks. As you can see here, we are doing 5G Industry 4.0. I will say that is the main one. A lot of indoor products here. We also have air to ground, giving connectivity to airplanes, 5G connectivity. So we use macro Open RAN radios that are on the ground, focusing on the sky and giving coverage to the airplanes. We also connected cars, for example, in Millbrook in the UK. Testing, everything that is from autopilot to security in the roads, public transport, and finally CBRS that for us is like an entity, like a whole group in itself, because it embodies a lot of verticals like in enterprise, education, hospital, oil and gas, rural. So we believe that private networks has a lot of potential for Open RAN because of the the flexibility of the deployment and also the advanced features that you can reach using this type of architecture. One of the things that we learn is that one of the main challenges in private networks is the integration. So what we did is like to partner with many ecosystem, I mean, companies from the ecosystem, from the 5G core, the devices, the servers, and the radios, and we started to integrate with them. So we're capable to provide a 5G network in a box. That means that you get 2 radios and a full 5G, full 5G network functioning, and you can deploy it in a matter of 1 day because everything is pre-installed by Airspan with all these partners, and this has been a big success. If we go to fixed wireless access, this is the third market. Fixed wireless access is these areas, for example, that they don't have like good coverage or don't have no coverage at all, and you have to provide specific coverage to these areas. You can think of rural areas, suburban areas, and the idea here from Airspan is like, okay, how can we break the way networks are traditionally deployed? Like instead of going to like a macro using a tower that it can take months to deploy. We don't talk about fiber because fiber can take even years. So how can we do that faster, like meaning that days? So what we do is like we create the whole solution using Open RAN and also smart radios. For example, here you can see that we were using on the picture of the right a strand, like the strands that you have on the city. And here, we have a situation in Long Island that you only have like 50 macros. This was not enough to provide a good coverage service. We were capable, and these 50 macros were deployed in a number of, more than 2 or 3 years to deploy. We were able to densify and provide a very good service in a matter of 9 months, and we deployed 20,000 radios in 9 months using these strands. So let me jump into the portfolio of Airspan that really aligns quite nicely with all these markets that we're trying to tackle. First of all, just to give you an explanation of what we provide, this is the standard diagram that you can find in our alliance. So here in the green square, you have the radio, the CU, the DU, and the RU. On the top, you have the RIC, the RAN intelligent controller. From Airspan, we are an end-to-end, truly open RAN vendor. That means that you can get the software and the hardware from us. We manufacture our own hardware. We do our own radios together with the software. Let us go to the software. So from the software, we do the CU and the DU, right? It's everything cloud native, and we believe that there is no, single. There's no silver bullet to succeed with virtual RAN with a virtualization. So we are doing a split 7.2, the Oran Alliance, but we also provide radios with a split 2, so you get an RDU, and also we are studying the split 6 from a small cell forum, and we can also provide like a full GNB radio. So that means that we can provide a modularized solution that adapts to the needs of the use case and also the transport, for example, that you have. We also provide like a management system, the ACP, Airspan Control Platform, that basically control the radios, all the KPIs, counters. You can get them from here, and also that's like an orchestration of the Kubernetes platform. But of course, this is open, based on open standards, so that means that you can connect to any third-party orchestrator. And finally, the RIC is something that we are developing, our XApps, and also happy to work with other XApps and RIC vendors to improve our performance of the radios. Finally, we move to the hardware. As I mentioned, we have a quite diversified portfolio. We do from high power radios to small power radios. So you can see here the macros using sub-6, 32 by 32 massive MIMO, and millimeter wave, for example, from Rakuten 128 antennas. Then we have small cell outdoors, like the one in the bottom, the airspeed, that is like a 5 watts, nice to do densification. And then we have, for example, specific products for strands, very, very commonly used for cable operators in the US or Asia, for example. This is easy to deploy. You just have to hang them on the strands. And then indoor, we have a big variety of type of radios. We have millimeter wave, the air velocity 6200, or sub-6, and different versions, like you can go to split 7 around, or you can go to split 2, and finally the AirStar. That is like an indoor-outdoor radio. So you put it in indoor and it gives also coverage through the window to the outdoor. So as you can see at Airspan, we really are focusing on really being a true Open RAN vendor, interoperable with other partners. And we want to bring a portfolio that fits all these three markets, as you can see, and all these radios are commercially available and already deployed massively in different markets. So thank you very much for the time.
Hi, I'm Toru Sekino, the Deputy Head of Mobile System Business Unit at Fujitsu. Today, I'll be talking about Fujitsu's progress on Open RAN deployments with the slide deck. Next slide. First of all, I a little bit touch upon Fujitsu's network vision. Fujitsu mainly has 5 key technology areas that support our key focus area. Focusing on the network areas, Fujitsu has consolidated the solution to the 5G and beyond society. Fujitsu's network technology to provide 5G and beyond open network equipped with high performance, flexible and scalable capacity, high efficiency and low power consumption, together with superior technologies of AI, ML, computing, security, and converging technologies. We think AI, machine learning, and security are also important for 5G and beyond especially. I explain about the Fujitsu network technology in a little bit of detail. So in 2019 is when we really started working and deploying our O-RAN compliant 5G product. Since then, all of our 5G centralized unit, CU, distributed unit, DU, and radio unit, RU, has been O-RAN compliant, which means that we are committed to O-RAN. At that time, we used hardware-based 5G CU and DU, and now we are developing the cloud-native 5G centralized unit, CU, and distribution unit, DU, on top of the cloud platform. The 5G software CU, DU are able to support public cloud platforms such as AWS and Azure as mobile network use cases. These 5G CUD software needs to be managed by Service Management and Orchestration Framework, SMO. That is where platform for AI ML apps running in RIG. We also have our digital arena solution on top of AI ML, which we think one of our value proposition as well. We have a technique to achieve high efficiency RF component for RU. This is one of the reasons that this network selected Fujitsu as a 5G RU supplier last year. And we believe security and integration are also very important to make 5G successful. So we established 5G lab in Texas for these reasons. Next slide. From network roadmap viewpoint, Fujitsu is using 5G beyond optical, wireless, and software technologies to create a cloud-native network that are virtualized end-to-end. Three key areas are Fujitsu's value proposition mainly. First, open network technology to provide to drive O-RAN and vRAN. It supports public cloud platform, including AWS and the Azure infrastructure. Second value proposition is built-in intelligence, which allows various devices and services to be combined by leveraging automation, derived from cutting-edge AI and deep learning, as well as security technologies. And third value proposition is green technologies, of course, which aims to limit the increasing power consumption by building a sustainable infrastructure using techniques such as photonics, electronic convergence. Next slide. This slide shows high-level view of our network automation technology for 5G Open RAN. Fujitsu has cutting-edge AI/ML technology, and we will utilize them on top of RIC function to monitor multiple parameters in the network's nodes and to predict network behavior. And also, Fujitsu has quantum-inspired computing, digital annealer, which is combined and derives optimum network resources allocation in a very efficient manner. As shown in the figure, unbalanced processing load in each network nodes are balanced. The peak load will be reduced. That improves all network efficiency. The combination of AI/ML and digital annealer enables optimum monitoring and prediction of the network behavior and proper operation of the 5G network. Next slide. We shipped the world's first remote radio head in 2004, and we keep improving the radio technology to provide the good quality and high efficiency radio unit to our customers. For 5G and beyond the 5G era in 2020s, of course, we already have a good skill set for power amplifier equipped with digital pre-distortion (DPD), and we continue to improve it to adapt 5G frequency as well. And we have been developing multi-chip module (MCM), which provide few gigabit per second radio links in frequency range of few 10 gigahertz. For 6G era in 2030s, we have researched and developed gallium nitride GaN and the indium phosphide INP devices, which will serve 10-fold faster communication links in sub-terahertz band. Next slide. Regarding the 5G market trend, O-RAN is open architecture of 5G RAN network based on standard defined by O-RAN Alliance. The architecture supports and complies the 3GPP standard, of course. Market share of the O-RAN compliant products has been increasing. Again, this is our target market. Fujitsu provides O-RAN compliant products and that provide flexible deployment, promotes agility and lower TCO, total cost ownership. Next slide. I don't think I need to explain this slide because everybody here knows what value of O-RAN is. The O-RAN provides no vendor lock-in, flexible pipe to meet user requirements, and improve user quality of experience as an example. And now, when we think about how to accelerate O-RAN deployment, we believe multi-vendor interoperability is the key to O-RAN vendor diversification. In order to ensure multi-vendor interoperability, we think we need a facility to help with multi-vendor operational checks and comprehensive end-to-end testing. Fujitsu is ready to take the role by providing mobile integration and testing center, we call it MITC, established recently in Texas, US. It enables to serve telecom operators and vendors to check interoperability of O-RAN profiles and VLAN operations. MITC makes possible through and comprehensive multi-vendor verification environment via its end-to-end testing. This is last slide. This is message, enable development of a true open RAN globally and contribute to a sustainable society through technology leadership. This is our kind of message. That's all from me, and I'd like to say thanks for having an opportunity to talk about 5G O-RAN journey. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dan Picker. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for Inseego. Inseego is the former Novatel Wireless, inventor of the hotspot, and actually the trademark owner of the term MiFi. Inseego is based in San Diego, California, and we actually have offices around the world, including Australia and Japan. So we sell our equipment through tier 1 operators in the US, as well as many as 15 major mobile operators abroad. We also sell into private networks for purposes of enterprise, government, first responders. We sell for purposes of distant learning, smart cities, and really to deliver high-speed broadband wherever it's required. Our equipment is all O-RAN compliant, and we're an active member of the O-RAN community, including the O-RAN Alliance and the O-RAN Policy Coalition. So if we look at where our products really fit into the whole picture of a 5G mobile network, we are an extension of the RAN to the very edge of the network. We are the on-ramp for devices, whether they're mobile devices or cameras or IoT devices. We're the first stop that those devices make to reach the rest of the network and ultimately the internet and ultimately the cloud. And with that, the performance of the overall network is only as good as what our equipment can provide. And for this reason, we provide extremely high capacity equipment up to many gigabits per second and very, very low latency. And some of our equipment also has additional capabilities to be able to actually do extra processing and have extra storage right on the edge to supplement the MEC, or the multi-access edge cloud, that might sit on the other side of the network. And this, by doing this, it enables us not only to be able to allow our devices to be managed from the cloud, but it actually allows us to be a bigger part of the actual solutions that our equipment is used for. And you can see we sit right on the edge at the other side of the 4G or 5G link, and we have our component that's in the cloud as well. So this really enables us to be used in Open RAN compliant and 3GPP compliant networks really throughout the world for any application you can think of, from emergency response to work from home, to smart warehouses, to schools. And once again, because of this cloud component that really comes with all of our equipment, it can all be remotely managed as well. So to give you a view of just a fraction of our portfolio, you can see it goes from the smallest, highest performance mobile hotspots on the left side. That little device can deliver really broadband speeds, multiple gigabits per second, wherever you happen to be. And those can be used by consumers, and they're also used by, for example, traveling insurance agents, for example, can really bring their quote unquote cable modem with them. Also indoor wireless devices of various types, and outdoor devices that can really deliver broadband data to either a house or an entire building or even an apartment building. And then finally, as we move to the right, you get industrial equipment that's a little bit more ruggedized to go into a first responder vehicle, or maybe to sit on a factory floor or in a robot, for example, that may be moving around. All of these applications have one thing in common, and that's that they are part of critical infrastructure for a company or a government or an enterprise. And for that reason, we take security very seriously, starting with building security in to the core of the chipsets we use and the software that we put into them. And the hardware that we wrap around those chipsets. And then we take it for third-party penetration testing just to make sure we did our job right and there are no vulnerabilities. And then finally, we wrap an optional third layer around that allows you to optimize the security for the application you're delivering. And that could be content filtering. It could be allowing the device to detect threats in the network around it. These are all things that are built into our devices and manageable through our cloud backend. Those sort of capabilities have allowed us to really work with many, many customers throughout the world, whether they're operators or enterprises or technology partners. One example of an application that we're involved with the ORAN community is a smart warehouse. And in fact, we're involved with a number of similar applications that are warehouses or factories where you have a combination of perhaps autonomous vehicles that need to be run through a very low latency network to do inventory management, to carry products from one place to another, maybe to enable AI and ML for object and people tracking and detection. And even we have a couple of installations where personnel are walking around with AR or VR glasses to either to do servicing of tasks or identification of inventory. And this requires a very high performance device to run those glasses. Another example, we have a couple of Fortune 500 retailers that both kind of share that they don't have an IT department that can be at each of their sites, because these are very large organizations with thousands of stores. And so what they need is something that's very reliable. They're not going to have to send personnel out to reinstall, and that they can manage remotely. And our cloud management platform is really the perfect thing for that. So we've really found a place there as well. And both of these examples are using ORAN compatible networks. So with that, we'll just kind of wrap up here. It was very nice to be here today and to talk to you a little bit about Inseego. Really, we provide all of the performance and all of the reliability and security that you'd expect for the most demanding applications wherever you would need to use them. And as we mentioned before, we're being used in all of the Quad countries today, and we have equipment really being used throughout the world. So thank you very much for having us today. I appreciate your time.
Hello, my name is David Nanto. I'm from NEC Corporation, from the 5G Group, and I'm very pleased to be with you here today at the Open RAN Showcase. I'd like to talk a little bit about our company and what we're doing with 5G and what we're doing with Open RAN. Let me start by talking about our company. NEC is a company that was founded a long time ago, 120 years ago, in fact. We started as a joint venture between a Japanese entrepreneur and the manufacturing arm of AT&T, the large American carrier. This entrepreneur had the vision of wanting to provide telecom equipment, telephones, to Japan throughout the country. And that was our start. We started in the telecommunications space. We had a long history there. And eventually we entered new additional segments. We started in telecom, but we entered into IT in the hardware business, software business, and system integration business. Today, we have a broad portfolio, as you can see from this picture. We do everything from aviation and satellites to submarine cables. We do telecom equipment, and we work in many different verticals, including manufacturing, logistics, retail, financial services, and even healthcare. We're about $27 billion in revenue, and we spend about $2.6 billion in R&D every year. We have about 110,000 employees in the company. 5G is important to our corporation. We announced that 5G would be a growth pillar for the company. And why are we excited about it? We're excited because we see that it will change our world in many, many different ways. We think that it's a foundational technology. People have talked about the Internet of Things. They've talked about Industry 4.0. And we think that 5G is the technology that will make that happen. It will change and allow for autonomous vehicles. It'll change the way we use robots and robotics in manufacturing, as an example. It will enhance what we can do with augmented and virtual reality. And it will change how we use AI as we connect the virtual and physical worlds. In many, many different industries, we see change coming in transportation and manufacturing, in sports and in retail, even healthcare. But we should say that we do not believe that this is something that will come to fruition just because of one company. We think that it's going to take the combination of lots of players to bring this to pass. Of course, the telco network is important. It's critical. It's the core technology infrastructure that underlies all of this change. We have to have mission critical telco networks that provide the 5G service. But in addition, we need cloud to provide content and service where it's needed and when it's needed. We expect industry to be involved in how they use artificial intelligence or artificial reality, how they use robotics and autonomous vehicles. That will happen in the industry. And all of this will require a lot of new innovation in the world. And we think that that innovation will come because of openness. We saw the same thing happen in our IT side of the business in the past. As systems went from closed to open, we saw new players enter the market. And the ecosystem start to grow and innovation flourish, and lots of new solutions were created on that side. And we see the same thing happening on the telco side. We're committed to it. We're committed to an ecosystem approach. We're pleased to have announced our suite of products, which we call NEC Open Networks. This is a combination of our own technology products. As I mentioned, we have a long history in telecommunications. Our own products, but also products from the ecosystem, from our partners, put together using the standards of O-RAN so that we can address different types of use cases, that we can address cost because we have the best of breed approach. And we think that innovation will flourish in this environment. We're committed to it as a corporation, and we're investing in it. What do we offer as NEC? Well, NEC has been a leader in this technology space for many years. We have the world's first massive MIMO radio units. The product was recognized by Leading Lights and was selected as a winner of the best new Open RAN in 2021. We are the most deployed radio unit provider, Open RAN radio unit provider in the world. Of course, we have our transport network business. We have over 100 customers around the world, and we're in 150 countries. We've been involved in packet core for over 25 years. Our cloud native 4G, 5G converged core was also selected by carriers and in private 5G. It was a winner from Leading Lights as well as the best new open core product in 2021. And of course, we have a subsidiary company called Netcracker, which is the market leader in service orchestration. All of these technologies, plus our system integration, is the core that we bring to the market. Now, where do we play? We're throughout the world, of course. Our headquarters are here in Japan, but we've built centers of excellences around the world with our know-how addressing different parts of the solution. In our transport business, we have a COE in Europe and in Latin America. For our Open RAN business, we have our implementation center in the UK. We have business development headquartered in the United States, and our labs where we test the ecosystem partners and our products are in India. Let me just take a moment and talk more about our approach. We believe that a partner ecosystem approach is the best for the market. We're committed to it, as I said, but we also have experience with mission critical systems and large scale systems and the issues relative to stability and performance of those systems. So we believe that it's important to pre-validate members of the ecosystem to ensure that we provide the right level of performance and stability for our customers. We do that work, that pre-validation in our India location. We work on quality and quality assurance. We do our system integration out of the UK, as I said, for implementation, and then we ensure full life cycle support. We want to be the single point of contact if we're chosen as a system integrator, and make sure that all of the components work in a best of breed Open RAN network. We've been selected by many early adopters that are looking at Open RAN in the market. Of course, the earliest movement in open was in Japan with NTT Docomo, a very large, experienced with a carrier with a large customer base. We were involved with them, and we're working jointly with them to develop RIC. We also worked with Rakuten, who's a startup, if you will, or a new player in this space in the Japanese market. Outside of Japan, we're working with early adopters in Europe, with Telefonica as their prime system integrator, where they're working on pilots in 4 different countries, and with Vodafone and with Deutsche Telekom. We're excited to be working with these companies and help them implement and realize O-RAN. So let me just summarize what we bring to the table and why you should consider talking to us about your O-RAN needs. NEC is a player that has been around for over 120 years. In fact, you might say that we're the oldest ICT player in the market. We understand mission critical systems. We've been doing it for many, many years. We understand the technology because we're a maker of the technology. We're a system integrator, and we specifically understand what it takes to implement our products together. We think that we're a strong player in the market, and we would love to talk to you about your Open RAN needs. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Sadek Yabeta, Head of Radio Access Network in NTT Docomo. I introduce Docomo's initiative on 5G and Open RAN. First, I briefly introduce Docomo's 5G status. The number of 5G subscribers is exceed 9 million at the end of last year, and now it's 10 million. The frequency band we support 3.7 GHz, 4.5 GHz, and 28 GHz. So 3 bands which are already supported, and we do carrier aggregation between 3.7 and 4.5 GHz. As for the 5G coverage, the number of base stations exceeds 13,000 as of September last year, and plan to deploy 2,000 at the end of this March. Our RAN is fully multi-vendor interoperable. This means in the same geographic area, we deploy the different vendors' equipment, and those are connected through the X2 interface through the O-RAN front 4 interface. As for the service, we create 5G Open Partnership Program 2018 to create new services and solutions with partners. The number of partners exceed 4,900 as of this January, and we create the solution to solve the social issues. So we have already created more than 300 solutions working with partners. And I guess everyone already know why Open RAN. So especially for the 5G era, different type of deployment scenario we have. For example, we deploy the smart manufacturing, stadium, high dense traffic area. So different type of deployment scenario. In case of the traditional single vendor case, we need to wait a vendor provide all the solution if we want to support different kind of the services. However, in open case, we can choose best vendors, best solutions in the world. So Open RAN enable mix and match of solutions from the multiple vendors. And the best of breed solutions, actually, we have already achieved. This is our Open RAN. So as for the 5G, we use the Open RAN fronthaul. So between the CUD and RU, we connected through the O-RAN fronthaul interface. We have 3 GNB vendors and 2 RU vendors is in commercial. And the additional 2 RU vendor already selected after day 1, according to deployment scenario concerning cost and performances. As for the RU, we already support various type RUs. As mentioned, 3-band frequency band we already supported, and different transmission power according to deployment scenario, and also the configurations according to the installation site. We also support ENDC between 4G and 5G through the X2 interface. This X interface defined by 3GPP, and some more detail is defined by O-RAN Alliance. So profile is defined by O-RAN Alliance. So those are the complementary. So thanks to the open interface, we choose the best solutions. And we can also avoid the supply chain risk. So and now we are working for the VLAN, but there are some challenges for VLAN. So not only just the merit. The merit, but I think everyone already knows. So what challenge we have in VLAN? What's the TCO? Of course, using that cost server, we can expect it to reduce the cost. But we need to consider the total cost, not only the CAPEX, but also the OPEX, how we can reduce. And second one is that in case of the Open RAN, so operator need to the integration and also the multi-vendor interoperability testing. And third one is performances. So compared to the dedicated hardware, so purpose-built hardware, how much performance we can achieve with cost server, review point capacity, throughput, and power consumptions. But working with multiple partner, especially for the hardware accelerator, we believe that we can achieve that competitive performance with hardware accelerator such as FPGA, GPU, and ASIC. So to accelerate the open network or to mitigate the challenge of Open RAN, we create 5G Open RAN ecosystem last year. We work with multiple partners listed here. So we have the hardware partner, software, accelerator, and virtualization platform vendors. So working with them, we create the flexible and powerful VLAN. Here is our summary of our activity O-RAN. As you may know that we established O-RAN Alliance 2018 February and launched the 5G service as mentioned at March 2020. And adding a new frequency band or adding new equipment. And last year we published a white paper I briefly introduced later. And this year we established the remote access shared lab. I will explain. So here is a white paper. We work with partners. This white paper treated not only the benefit, but also the challenge which I mentioned. And what target we have for this our Open RAN systems. Some more detail, please see visited our white paper. And this February, so just a few weeks before, we started the OREX Shared Open Lab. So this Open Lab operator can access to our shared lab remotely from the overseas. So they don't need to prepare the lab. They don't need to assign the people. So, but they can select the different type VLAN, software vendor, virtualization platform, code server, and flat hardware accelerators, and can do the various tests, the single one core test from the performance test, such as the loaded test, assuming the Tokyo metropolitan area or rural area, or handover performances. So different type of the test environment we have, and the operator can do the test. So by using OREX Share Lab and with Docomo support, operators can greatly reduce overall cost and time and shared know-how for Open RAN introduction. And one important feature of the Open RAN is intelligent RAN, so radio intelligent controllers. From the 3G, 4G era, we collected the data and using such data to enhance or to optimize our network. So in 5G, we also collected the data and optimize network. And also, especially for at the beginning, we automatically set up the configurations. So our operator just install the equipment, automatically set up their configurations. So we provide the RIC functionality step by steps. Finally, I would like to introduce our OREX site. This is also just open end of the February. And some more detail today's I talk is shown in this OREX site. So please visit our OREX site. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Mirsad Shavcic, Vice President of Product Management at Pivotal Comware. Pivotal Comware started by inventing holographic beamforming, a breakthrough in electromagnetic physics, which allows Pivotal's antennas to harness, shape, and direct radio waves so network operators can maximize capacity, coverage, and throughput on demand. Holographic beamforming has order of magnitude advantages over legacy beamforming methods in cost, size, weight, and power consumption. Millimeter wave spectrum offers enormous capacity and allows mobile network operators to compete for $100 billion broadband market typically reserved for wireline technologies. Rich, immersive, and fast approaching metaverse experiences are only possible with millimeter wave connectivity. But millimeter wave signals face significant propagation and penetration challenges. Today, Pivotal Comware is a global leader in 5G millimeter wave repeater infrastructure solutions. Our millimeter wave product ecosystem allows our customers to plan precisely, deploy quickly, and operate at absolute lowest total cost of ownership. We start with Wavescape, the ecosystem's orchestrator. Wavescape isn't a repeater at all, but a cloud-based network and economic modeling tool. Pivotal built Wavescape from the ground up to leverage the physics of highly deterministic millimeter wave signal behavior. Wavescape ingests 10 centimeter resolution GIS data to precisely and accurately determine where to place network elements, small cells and repeaters, in order to achieve greatest coverage for least cost. unique capability to plan in 3D, along with machine learning attributes providing situational awareness of real estate and line-of-sight constraints, allows Wavescape to evaluate numerous deployment strategies, whether for mobility or fixed wireless access. The result is strategic and tactical understanding of how to build and monetize your millimeter wave network. Pivot 5G gets real about solving millimeter wave propagation challenges. We designed it with total cost of ownership and accelerated deployment top of mind. Costing a fraction of a small cell price, fiberless, weighing only 8 pounds, and requiring just under 30 watts of power, Pivot 5G is the ultimate network element needed for cost-effective deployment of millimeter wave 5G networks defined by Wavescape. Easy to permit and install, Pivot 5G will be in place and on air before you make real estate plans for the expensive fiber-connected small cell. The third member of Pivotal's product ecosystem is the Echo 5G subscriber repeater. Its purpose is to get millimeter wave signals indoors, which it accomplishes by creating a portal through window glass. Without the Echo 5G, millimeter wave has a hard time penetrating glass. And when it does, often at an angle, it provides just a small wedge of coverage near the window. We call this problem structural shadowing. The Echo 5G is a customer installable on-the-window precision beamforming repeater designed to counteract millimeter wave penetration, reflection, and structural shadowing losses, so it can gently flood an interior with millimeter wave signal. Because all glass is not created equal, Echo 5G product line offers solutions for both standard and energy-efficient windows. The fourth and final member of the ecosystem is Cloud-Based Intelligent Beam Management System, IBMS. Every Pivot and Echo unit is equipped with an IoT modem. IBMS leverages this IoT connection via LTE to provide fault management, configuration management, and performance management capability. It further leverages holographic beamforming's unique properties to optimize network performance and assurance. All Pivotal repeaters offer ultra-low latency, network transparency, RAN vendor interoperability, and you guessed it, ORAN compliance. We have built an ecosystem of products critically important for solving millimeter wave's existential challenges by designing for interface agnosticism. The challenge was real. It is the main reason we support ORAN initiative as we continue to innovate and expand our product ecosystem. Thank you for your kind attention. To learn more about Pivotal Comware, please visit our website at www.pivotalcomware.com.
Hi, this is Ganesh Nandagaraman, Head of Integrated Products and Ecosystems at Radisys. Today, I want to talk about our Open RAN solution offering, and without wasting much time, let me get into the next slide. A quick introduction about Radisys. We've been a company headquartered in the US, founded in 1987, and we've been supplying open telecom solutions for more than 3 decades, and we are now part of the Geo Platforms Limited group, which is a subgroup within Reliance Industries, the largest private sector enterprise in India. As part of our offering, you see that we offer a variety of products and solutions here, and right from our media product, which is the media server, deployed across the globe in various operator networks and enterprises, serving hundreds and thousands of subscribers, in millions of subscribers in every network. And we also have open and disaggregated solution both for wireline and wireless. And here we will talk about our Open RAN solution primarily, but we also have a disaggregated wireline solution, open box OLT, white box OLT solution. We have a digital endpoints group which takes care of providing CPEs, various phone devices, IoT gateways, and platforms for the digital endpoints. And we have a network services division which takes care of all the end-to-end consulting, network design, Open RAN style system integration, benchmarking, and optimization of the solution. So these are the various ways in which we enable our customers and take care of the integration and the management of the solution in deployment. Our approach to telecom solutions and telecom products has been one of adopting the fully open approach. What we mean by that, we adopt all the open architectures and open standards. Especially in the space of wireless, we've been part of all the leading open forums, be it Telecom Infra Project or Small Cell Forum. We've been a long-time member of these forums. In TIP especially, we've been a member since its inception, and the same thing with Small Cell Forum as well. And we've been currently engaged in the 5G and FAPI standardization in Small Cell Forum. And we've been awarded for our Open RAN contributions both in year 2020 and 2021. In ORAN Alliance, we've been contributing and leading in various working groups. We are co-chairing Working Group 8 since 2019, and we've been making several key contributions in Working Group 3 and 5 as well. Various service models and E2EP related ones, and several CRs in WG5 as well. We also have contributed to the test and interoperability specifications in TFG group, and we've been contributing since 2019 through a small team for the 5G open source DU implementation in the ORAN open source community. And one of the key initiatives which I want to talk about as part of our effort within ONF is the SD-RAN initiative. We were one of the founding members of this initiative. We were able to demonstrate the integration of various different XApps, and we were able to trial this at Deutsche Telekom Lab in Berlin last year with the ONF near real-time RIC platform and the XApps coming from different ONF partners with our CUDU solution for 5G. So in addition to all these contributions and leadership across different forums, we've been part of several other organizations, including Open RAN Policy Coalition, through which we've been participating in all the industry initiative to promote Open RAN across different geographies. We've been happy to be part of this initiative through Open RAN Policy Coalition. We're also members of the NextG Alliance, CBRS Alliance, and the Linux Foundation. I'll now talk about the spread and the width of our solutions, how widely deployed we are through our software solution. We have been the key player enabling multiple small cell deployments across the world, both in 4G and many of the 5G solutions that are being designed right now are also based on our software solution. Same thing for our Open RAN solution, which has enabled the multiple Open RAN players deploying today across different geographies. We've been in the space of public safety and satellite communication too. We have enabled a good number of test and measurement vendors. And we also have been part of the innovative solutions along with some of the telcos in North America. And one of the key strengths we bring as an Open RAN centric player is our partnership with the ecosystem. We have the widest ecosystem partnership, be it the chipset players or the L1 providers or the RE providers. I'm not going to read out all the names that are here. You would just, by the sheer names listed here, you would see the length and breadth of the partnership we have across the industry along with our global ODM partners. And this, I believe, is one clear way of enabling multiple ORAN, Open RAN deployments with our partners for various different use cases. When it comes to the Open RAN solution offering from Radisys, we have a 5G and 4G approach, both SA and NSA approach. We are heavily focused on the CUDU small cell components, and we integrate with our partners core network elements or near real-time RIC or non-real-time RIC, and we kind of deploy and integrate with all the leading orchestrators that are out there in the market. And I also want to make a mention about all the type of radios which we've been integrating with our partners, whether it's ORAN compliant radios or the older style CPRI radios. We've been doing this integration in various different forms in different labs and deployments. So that's our key strength in terms of the interops and the integration which we have done. And how does this provide various options for the Open RAN deployments, right from the small cells, which are indoor small cells, and the outdoor small cells or the outdoor pico cells, to the tower bottom deployments, to the highly centralized virtualized CU and DU. So we have an ultra flexible and ultra scalable RAN software in which we accommodate a very flexible architecture whether it's an all-in-one or an option 2 split or an option 6 or an option 7.2x split. So based on the deployment needs, we are able to shape our software and implement those scalability and performance requirements, along with the aspects of virtualizing the RAN, whether it's containerized RAN in DU or CU, and follow the CUPS architecture and give a performance which is equivalent to the PNF. And we are adding more and more optimization in the scaling in and scaling out of our vRAN solution based on a number of cells, number of layers, and so on. With this kind of evolution or the thought process in mind, we see that we can cater to the various different needs evolving in the market, right from the current needs, which is more about vRAN solution and ORAN interfaces, and supporting eMBB use cases and massive MIMO-based deployments, both for public and private networks, which is what we are doing as of this year. We do see ourselves commercially deploying with RIC XApps and AML aspects of non-real-time RIC as well, along with the evolution towards release 16 and the advanced ultra-reliable low latency use cases, and deploy some of the end-to-end network slicing use cases as well with our support to supporting the RAN software for the RAN slicing. As we evolve further in 2024, we see that we will be deploying massive MIMO, massive IoT use cases, the red-capped devices with that, and the non-terrestrial network satellite solutions, and multiple diverse use cases like telemedicine and cellular VTX. And finally, a point about the key strengths of why you should choose Radisys. And we've been a well-known player in the industry since the earlier generations of the technology, right from 2G, 3G, and now 5G. And decades of experience in deploying protocol software with well-defined interface. And our solution is highly software-centric and hardware agnostic, along with virtualization and automation. It becomes a very flexible and versatile solution. We have the widest interoperability in the ecosystem partnership, and we have deep system integration expertise that comes within our group by virtue of working with all the leading major operators here across the globe. And with that kind of combined expertise, we believe we are the best positioned to serve the Open RAN needs of the industry. And we would like to welcome any questions and interest around this. Thank you for your time.
Hello, this is Mehran Hadipur of Robin Dadayo. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about orchestration and automation for Open RAN and some of the challenges that exist and how Robin solves them. Open RAN is getting a lot of momentum. As you walk around MWC today, you see a lot of buzz around how real it is and is it deployable and so on. Robin has Open RAN infrastructure in production in Rakuten Mobile with more than 3 million subscribers on it. So we have obviously built a platform that can support it, and I will talk a little bit about how how we have done that, and the platform itself, and how is it hosting RAN technologies. When you look at this whole disaggregation and softwarization of the RAN and the momentum that is built, there are a number of specific requirements, especially around real-time applications in DU, for example, around networking, around automation, orchestration, around the ability to support a very low footprint that can host network functions such as DU natively without a hypervisor involved and so on. So Robin has built a cloud-native platform that includes a number of enhancements to above and beyond upstream Kubernetes, including enhanced CNI that supports high-performance networking such as SRLB and DPDK, includes capabilities such as complex provisioning, NUMA CPU pinning, and some of those capabilities that are added to Kubernetes to support it, including real-time kernel support and so on. So the platform itself can run on a single core and can support standard x86 platform and can host both the UNCU workload and in a distributed fashion, and this allows containerized deployment of RAN in a more seamless fashion. The platform also requires automation when you deploy RAN at scale. The challenge is going to be how I'm going to do lifecycle operations at a large number of cell sites with hardware upgrades, automation of the lifecycle of the devices themselves, implementation of the RAN from bare metal all the way up, and then DCAP product that we're going to talk quickly about. That's all of that orchestration on top. And does it remotely and does it centrally. So you have a situation that you can deploy the Open RAN environment at thousands of base stations on demand, automated from the point of time that the hardware is placed all the way to the point of time that applications are functioning. So when you look at this whole orchestration and automation platform, there are a number of orchestration aspects that have to be considered. Bare metal as a service is an important function. You no longer have an environment that everything is pre-configured. Hardware is shipped, antenna is plugged in and powered. From that point on, it's recognized by DCAP. It basically gets configured with operating system, BIOS, all the required configurations are put in on the hardware element, and the bare metal is prepared for acceptance of the appropriate network function, whether it's the UNCU. RAN as a service is an extension of that. You basically take the bare metal post-deployment and deploy the appropriate network function, and from infrastructure for connectivity, and now you have the environment that you have a complete RAN as a service deployed on demand, and that can be done at a very, very large scale. If you look at this whole deployment concept, Robin creates application profiles for network functions. Those application profiles could be built based on requirement of RAN workloads, configuration of networking, SRIV, number of connections, multis to allow front haul and back haul connectivity to the same pod. All those things are specified in the network function delivery, and we can do a push-button deployment of the applications on demand, and this gives you a model that you can deploy the entire operations from bare metal deployment, followed by cluster operation instantiation, cluster management, lifecycle operation post-deployment, and all of those things are automated in a orchestrated fashion end-to-end. So these Robin provides these workflows that orchestrate the network functions and their automation end-to-end. And these workflows could be executed centrally across a large number of devices in inventory. This allows you to instantiate the entire RAN infrastructure and on a very managed workflow. This reduces the time to operation, the cost of operation, the time to deployment is often deployed by 80%, and allow a number of lifecycle automation tasks post-deployment, which allows you to reduce the cost of operations and also efficiency of how RAN is deployed on demand. If you couple that with low footprint requirement of Robin, you can probably have the most efficient infrastructure and orchestration model with the lowest capex and opex for deployment of Open RAN. And having deployed Open RAN in production, we have proven efficiencies that we can talk about in terms of what we'll be able to achieve for these kind of deployments from ground up. Well, that was, I hope you guys got a good view of the benefits and challenges of Open RAN, and please, if you have any more questions and so on, reach out to Robin and we can take you through the more deployment considerations. Thank you so much for your time and have a wonderful day.
Hello, I'm Justin Dra from Samsung Electronics. I'm supporting Samsung's sales strategy in vRAN and Open RAN. Today, I'm very happy to explain our solution and business in 5G and vRAN solution. So let me share the slide. I want to first start with how mobile market looks like in Korea, who is one of the leaders in 5G. So Korea launched 5G in 2019, and today, just in 2 years, 5G accounts for more than 62% of the total traffic. And the 5G users consumes like 3 times more traffic than 4G user. So we all know this pattern will not stop here. And this is because all different apps we're using every day at home and office. So the question is, for operators, how can you handle this increasing traffic? The answers are, first, technology. Operators start to use new hardware form factor like massive MIMO and new IO technologies such as beamforming and advanced channel coding. Second, bandwidth. Because in the existing 4G bands, there is no room for growth. So we had to find new spectrum above 3 GHz, such as C-band and millimeter waves. And third, more sites. More traffic requires more densification of cells. The problem is all these factors require considerable investment by operators. Therefore, for them, balancing right level of performance and cost is key for operator success. So how does Samsung manage this performance and cost issue? Our strategy is to focus on chips and hardware. Samsung started 5G research from 2009. At the time, LTE was not even commercially launched in many countries. Since then, we've continued to develop our 5G solution throughout various demos and trials in early 5G markets, such as Korea, US, and Japan. And we finally launched world's first 5G commercial network in 2018. And recently, with virtualized RAN, which I will explain a bit more, we launched massive MIMO technology that is considerably challenging even in traditional RAN. And all these achievements are based on the fact that we have strong leadership in standards and patent bodies. We are leading standardization in 5G and host the largest officials in 3GPP. We are number 1 in 5G essential patents. In 2019, we launched our 6G research. All these activities show our commitment on massive amount of investment into intellectual property and R&D resources. Another strength of 5G solution is the chipset. We are one of the leading semiconductor companies in the world. And with networks, we are putting more investment on 5G chips. For higher bandwidth, cutting-edge technology support, at reduced product size and increasing power efficiency. Chips are at the heart of our 5G solution. These chips are used in every radius we are delivering for different use cases, from FWA, enhanced mobile broadband, and even to coverage for rural, IoT, and so on. Samsung can provide complete radio solution for our customers in every use cases. For our chips and hardware, we secure trusted supply chain by leveraging our best-in-class manufacturing in the US, Korea, and Vietnam. Also, we continue to enhance our cybersecurity for our products. One good example is we won the first common criteria certification for our 5G products in the US. Thanks to our efforts in research, chip, hardware, and trusted supply chain, we've already deployed over 4 million 5G-ready radios on the globe. We are providing advanced capabilities and superior performance to customers so that they build the best network in terms of performance and cost. So far, I have explained what we have done for more than 10 years. But is there anything else that we can do more for next 10 years? And we believe focusing on software is the key answer to that question. And that means we'll virtualize our core and RAN. So what does virtualization mean to operators? In the previous section, our focus was mainly about how to optimize cost while upgrading performance. Virtualization means we give a platform to operators, not only to control their CapEx and OpEx more flexibly, but also to increase their revenues. So how does this work? With vRAN, telco can transform their traditional cell sites into virtualized and cloud infrastructure. We support such transition in 3 ways. First, our vRAN is telco-grade solution, supporting DU-CU split architecture based on 3GPP. We support multi-technologies such as 4G and 5G, and it is proven in the field of Tier 1 networks. Second, it features cloud agility. Since it is software-based, it supports flexible dimensioning for diverse traffic models. So it allows flexibility in your CapEx and OpEx allocation. It is cloud-native solution, which can be deployed on any third-party server and cloud platform. Therefore, it is easy to add new services on the infrastructure, just like a cloud. On the vRAN platform, you can host third-party apps such as video analytics, cloud gaming, drone control. This means operators now can find new revenue stream with vRAN. Lastly, it supports ORAN compliant fronthaul. We support 7-2 interface by RDU. This is not proprietary interface, which some vendors try to push. This means no lock-in to Samsung. Functional split is widely accepted by many vendors. Therefore, we support healthy competition and best-of-breed ecosystem in Open RAN. On top of this, we are actively contributing for ORAN standards. Especially, we are in chair leadership for Working Group 3 for real-time RIG. And we are developing our RIG solution based on the leadership. With our technology and solution, we are deploying the biggest vRAN commercial networks with global Tier 1 carriers. In the US, with Verizon, we launched first wide-scale commercial vRAN in 2020. And a couple of months ago, we launched the first commercial 5G massive MIMO C-band radios supported by vRAN. In Europe, with Vodafone, we are deploying vRAN and ORAN commercial networks in the UK. In Asia, historically, we have strong footprints in TRAN in Korea, India, and Japan. Especially in India, we support Jio's 4G nationwide network, more than 400 million users, as a sole network vendor. In 5G, we'll maintain our leadership in the country. On top of that, we're expanding our vRAN in the APAC region. In Japan, with Docomo, we launched nationwide 5G ORAN solution. With KDDI, we just launched world's first commercial 5G standalone Open RAN network, powered by vRAN in Japan. With TPG, we launched first 5G vRAN and millimeter wave trial in Australia. No other vendor is anywhere near us in scale and breadth. vRAN or Open RAN has much benefit to be realized, as I explained. But as we deploy the solution in the field, we learned that there are some challenges too. First, operators do not compromise in the quality and reliability of the new technology. Vendors need to reinforce their technical and operational expertise. Second, multi-vendor environments add complexity in IoT and integration. Vendors need to equip with both telecom and IT knowledge for root cause analysis and resolution. Third, roadmap alignment across multi-vendors are another issue. Lastly, business model and ecosystem. In our experience, ecosystem of Open RAN is still at early stage to match incumbents' performance and price. Also, operators need to take a more collaborative and experimental approach to lead multi-vendor integration. Because of all these challenges, operators are looking for Goldilocks combination when they talk about vRAN and Open RAN supplier. On one side, they want a vendor who is willing to innovate and open to new technology and business model. I think incumbents are not flexible enough in this sense. On the other side, operators want a vendor who they can trust. To be frank, there are many startups and IT vendors who say that they can do Open RAN or vRAN. However, we've witnessed they cannot meet operators' high standards or do not understand telecom network and the industry's practice. We believe Samsung is the only one who can meet these two different needs at the same time. And that is why Tier 1s around the world are selecting Samsung as their vRAN and Open RAN partner. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rajesh Gangadhar. I'm the Chief Technology and Chief Product Officer for the Access Solutions portfolio within STL. I'm going to be walking you through the portfolio offering to address the Open RAN ecosystem. Now, STL is a global leader, and we offer open networking-based solutions both on the wireless and fixed access. Our entire premise and focus is on open, disaggregated, and virtualized platform. From a customer perspective, STL addresses telecom operators, cloud companies, citizen networks, as well as large enterprises. And we are situated globally, and we have offices across the various continents. We are headquartered in India, but again, Europe, US, and Asia, including Australia. We cover all of the geographical locations. So within the open networking access solutions portfolio, we offer a broad set of offerings. On the radio side, we cover the small cell portfolio as well as single and multi-band macro radios. And our offering is entirely Open RAN compliant, which means our products adhere to the ORAN front haul interface spec. We are offering both 7/2 split as well as split 2 configurations to enable operators and entities, other entities alike, give them the flexibility to deploy based on the deployment archetype. On the software side, we have two products. One is the RAN intelligent controller. This, we believe, forms the heart of the open architecture, bringing intelligence both at the edge and near real-time applications, as well as non-real-time applications. And we actually have a pretty strong offering here in terms of the architecture that we're proposing, as well as the type of application and services that the RAN intelligent controller can support. Rounding out the portfolio is the programmable FTTX. This is a fully virtualized last mile access offering. It basically disaggregates the OLT function, and this is again, standardized as per ONF and Broadband Forum. So all of our products are open, disaggregated, and virtualized, as I said earlier, and these are all adhering to open networking principles, and we are members and contributors to all the open fora that you see at the bottom. On the radio portfolio, the sub-6 gigahertz offerings, we have, as I said, small cells as well as high power macros. And our entire premise is to focus on size, cost, operational efficiency, enabling faster deployment and simpler operations. So focus on TCO, focus on operational efficiency. And again, the portfolio includes different MIMO configurations, different power configurations, and split configurations to enable operators greater flexibility in deploying. The macro high power units, the single band units, are actually 4G compliant as well. So they're backwards compliant. They support both 4G and 5G. So it can operate concurrently, providing greater flexibility there. This is a bit of a detailed slide, but again, the message here is that we are ORAN compliant with, on the small cell side, we have both the split 7.2 and split 2 configurations, with different bandwidth, MIMO configuration, as well as power. And these are sub-6 gigahertz. The indoor split 7.2 Garuda is actually a GA product we're shipping right now. The split 2 configuration is currently in development. And the outdoor split 2 is, again, to address the enterprise applications. The indoor and outdoor split 7.2 radios are pretty powerful solutions for enterprise, private, as well as telco, in a split 7.2 configuration. And we're already in interoperability testing with our partners. On the macro, we have certain exemplar radios that we're developing. Again, it's a platform-based approach that allows us to quickly adapt to different bands across the geographies. And the whole premise here is we've covered the FDD and TDD configurations. And the focus here again is operational efficiency and greater TCO. This is a product again that is currently in IoT and very soon to be generally available. Moving on to the RIC portfolio, the RIC, as I said earlier, we believe is an integral component of the open architecture. And we're actually, we believe we're a leader in this space. We've contributed to an architectural change in the ORAN forum, which is basically decoupling the RIC elements from the SMO, the service management and orchestration function, and really focusing on the RAN set of functions to enable greater flexibility for operators, both brownfield as well as greenfield. And we started with a focus on non-RT RIC combined with the RAN O&M functions, homogenizing the element management and NMS functions, thereby providing automation capability to existing SONs that may be operational in the brownfield networks. And these are our entire premise here is to define certain intermodule interfaces and to be able to enable some of the faster operation of SON applications. And these are all the way from, say, day-to-day operation to capacity performance optimization, spectrum savings, energy savings, and enabling new applications and services that can further the 5G revenue model and revenue generation models. So this is a deeper dive on the architecture. The architecture on the left shows the SMO, which is integrated with the non-RT RIC. We strongly believe that the RAN specific functions have to be separate from legacy or perhaps the integrated SMO framework. And this is because we believe that the applications and services that are RAN centric need to have the flexibility for implementation and integration. And the whole idea of an open architecture is that the operators can rely on any vendors non-RT RIC separate from the SMO functions. The architecture on the right sort of describes our approach, and this is an approach that has gained substantial traction in ORAN forum, and this is a work item that is currently being discussed and debated. And what you see here is that the modules that are separated out now are more RAN centric. So you have the near RT RIC, the non-RT RIC, the RAN O&M function, as well as the domain orchestration. But again, that's RAN centric. And the intermodule interfaces that will be defined in ORAN forum now allows the translation and interface between the modules and translation of data paths and the data models that are again defined through open APIs here. And the whole premise here is that these modules can now be disaggregated and separate from an individual vendor perspective, or can be integrated as the operator may choose. And our approach to our RIC platform is that while we have certain native apps that we will support, but by far we want our platform to be open to any third-party XApp or RApp, and that's really what we believe that the RIC should be about, enabling any third-party XApp and RApp. Perhaps a good analogy is that of an open source OS, which allows for any third-party XApp or application to be integrated, and this is similar so long as you adhere to certain API constraints. You're basically open to integrating, and to this end, we're actually we're sort of enabling both the SON integration, the distributed and centralized SON functions, as well as that allows the operators the flexibility to transform the network from their current configuration to a more open-centric configuration, but the path is defined to be more seamless, providing cloud automation function on the SON. And here we see that while the RIC as a platform has its functional elements, there is a way to integrate into the existing SON platform, thus enabling the rig to perform certain automation at a much faster rate than the SON would today. And this is something that we are really pushing into the industry, because this enables the rig to be adopted and adapted earlier than would be, if operators were to choose a standalone approach. So this is a path to enabling the rig capabilities or the benefits much earlier in the non-standalone architecture. This is a slide that sort of describes our Plugfest participation. This was in September 20. We actually demonstrated ME2 interface enablement as well as a mobile load balancing use case at the DRRT rig, along with our partner, CUDU partner, ASSOCHAM. And this was under the aegis of Airtel in India. And this was again demonstrated about a year and a half ago. So we just want to show how mature or how evolved our architecture and our implementation is in the rig domain. The key differentiator for our rig, as I said, we truly believe that the rig needs to be a platform, almost independent from the applications and services. And we truly believe that enabling any third-party XApps and RApps to be integrated seamlessly allows operators greater flexibility in being able to serve various use cases, segments, and applications. So, and one of the fundamental approaches we are also taking is to build a sandbox around this that enables third-party integration. And this is this is why we believe that will actually democratize the whole rig and thereby enable greater adoption and an earlier adoption of the rig. I'll end here, and I thank you for the opportunity to present our portfolio, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you again.
Thank you very much for having me here. I'm Sandeep Sharma from Tech Mahindra, heading global portfolio for 5G RAN and O-RAN network services. Today's topic of discussion, O-RAN, is pretty interesting topic, and particularly I am very excited about this topic. Reason being, we at Tech Mahindra have already contributed significantly in O-RAN deployments in different parts of the world, either in terms of POCs or the commercial rollouts. If you look at the network transformation that has happened in terms of open NAS and what we foresee beyond 2022 as well, it's going to evolve in a much faster pace. But before going into details of it, let's understand how the traditional networks are deployed and how it is done in the open RAN networks. If you particularly consider the RAN part of traditional networks, the radio and the basebands are tightly coupled with a closed interface, with a proprietary baseband in place. While in case of your open RAN philosophy, the interface between the radio and the baseband is open. Open means like radio could be from one vendor, baseband could be from another vendor, and within the baseband itself, there's a disaggregation of hardware and software. CUDU split is also making a significant contribution in terms of different efficiencies that O-RAN brings in. If you look at different benefits that O-RAN bring in terms of 4 verticals, I can summarize it. First, the flexibility. Since not many players are coming in with the different architecture options of disaggregating the software and the hardware and different placements of the network functions in terms of CUs and DUs, you can deploy the architecture the way you like, and it will help the operators to realize different use cases as well. Second, the innovation is an important aspect that will bring in. Since not many things are getting converted into software functions, you can easily transform things with a more innovative way. Finally, a third one is the automation. Since not many things handle the way the IT worlds are handled, the faster time to market can be achieved. You can automate implementation of functions, implement integration of features and functionality right from the R&D stage to the production stage much quicker in an automated way. The mix of 5G capabilities and the ORAN flexibilities or the efficiency they bring in, it creates a phenomena of open verse. It will allow many things to realize in a defined way, which was not available in the earlier ways of deploying networks or the earlier technologies. With this transformation happening in the different network components, there are two different, I would say, competencies or expertise that is required. One is the network innovation capabilities in terms of the products and the features that are required. And there's a set of, OEMs in terms of trusted vendors and the product vendors and the COTS hardware vendors. They are doing it in terms of the different technologies that can bring in. On top of that, the orchestration layer that is required to make it end-to-end work and automate. But these are the innovations needs to be implemented in the network as well, where there are multiple components coming in from different vendors in terms of softwares, hardwares, and different layers of orchestration. There comes the need of a system integrator, or I would say the continuous integrator, who can stitch things end-to-end, takes an end-to-end ownership, and create new age end-to-end services so that the networks are deployed in a much faster, automated, and efficient way. And we have at Tech Mahindra have in-house developed and invested in a NetOps.ai framework as well for the faster deployment of these networks. So we at Tech Mahindra are actually bridging the gap from the innovation and the implementation. We bridge it and we make the networks realistic in the real world so that multiple benefits can be achieved from the network in terms of scalable deployment, reduce costs in terms of total TCOs, improved velocity in terms of implementing different features and functionalities, and creating the network architectures which are future ready so that the earlier generations are deployed and the future generations can easily be accommodated in the same network architecture. Apart from doing the continuous integration, we also focus on the different aspects of the network component as well. Starting with the ORAN solutions and services, we also focus on the labs as well, so that the things that are going in the field, in the production stage, are pre-tested, pre-integrated. We already invested heavily in the lab setups across the world, so that what different stakeholders can come together, we can pre-verify the stack and make it more resilient in terms of the network to be deployed. Finally, third one, 5G monetization. We also have different use cases realized in terms of private 5G networks, so that if any operator wants to utilize a specific use case, we have a solution available for the better monetization of the 5G assets. We also have a core and OSS network integration transformation services in place to have an end-to-end view, right from the RAN to the core. And we have an automated operations and managed services framework as well in terms of services and the offerings and solutions, so that end-to-end view can be realized in a commercial network and operators can rely heavily on the benefits of ORAN and 5G together. If you look at the different stages that comes in a technology, right from the nascent stage where it is concept or the incubation stage to the actual network deployed in terms of commercial networks and how it is managed, we at Tech Mahindra are a continuous integrator partner in terms of different offerings that we are available at every stage of the network deployment, right from the stage one, where we get involved with the technology vendors, we help the CSPs in selecting the right technology, designing the right network architecture, to the stage two, where when we move to the trial stage or the POC stage, and we are already involved in multiple geographies with the multiple CSPs and the OEM partners to do the POCs and the trials. These trials helps us in getting an estimate what can be expected out of the commercial networks, and the stacks that are going to be in the production network or the commercial network can be tested beforehand. In a stage 3 of the planning, we also have services available with our in-house capabilities and the platforms where we can plan and dimension the different parts of the network, right from the radio to the end-to-end view of the core and the edge, and make it more efficiently deployed in the commercial network. At the stage 4 of the deployment, where the site infrastructure is actually deployed, we have a SI capability to integrate things end-to-end, get the end-to-end integration testing done, have the NOC set up to be in place, test it, and turn it up for a live rollout. Finally, at stage 5, when the networks are commercially rolled out and it's available for the consumers, we also have the operations services in place where we take care of the operations in the long run, either in terms of managed services, optimization, benchmarking, and the performance engineering. In a way, TechM is a continuous integration partner from the whole life cycle of the technology, right from the incubation till the full deployment in the commercial network. In a summary, TechM is well positioned as a strategic partner in terms of transformation from the legacy technology to the open RAN technology based on the 4 pillars that we feel. First, the business appetite. We have a strong focus on the technology as a ORAN. We already invested heavily. We have seen this transition happening much earlier, and we are the first one who invested and who have deployed, helped the operators deploying the commercial networks in ORAN, and we have leveraged the competence that we've built in creating a full technology focus in the organization and towards the CSPs. We are driving projects across multiple dimensions of the network cycle, right from the design phase to the actual implementation and to the operations. We have the in-house platforms like NetOps.ai for the end-to-end lifecycle management of ORAN. We have a multi-vendor alliance in place so that the interop issues can be sorted out in a much faster way. And we have an ability to drive the objectives globally. Fourth one, basically, we have a global expertise, but we also have a local presence in different parts of geographies. We easily understand and deploy the things in a localized form wherever it is required for any specific geography. On top of it, we are also contributing significantly in terms of ORAN Alliance as we are a member. TIP, in various projects within TIP, we have participated, and we are also a member of ONAP. In a whole, we provide the services, we help in nurturing the technology, and we work with the various organizations to make it work for the future networks. If you have any questions around it, feel free to connect with me. I'm happy to help and explore the ways how can I support you in the future transformation of your network. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. My name is Johannes Tafessa, and I'm with Worldwide Technology, or WWT. And over the next 10 minutes or so, I will take you over our capability when it comes to Open RAN and the mobile wireless industry overall. Just a quick overview of Worldwide Technology. We are an almost $15 billion annual revenue privately held company. Out of that, about $3 billion is international business, and we've been in business for more than 30 years. We have about 8,000 employees, and we are proud to be recognized by Fortune and Time magazine as a great place to work. And this is really a testament of our values and culture as a company. And we are a technology provider to more than 80 of the Fortune 100 companies, and we do that by working together with our partners who are leaders in their respective technological fields. And here's a list of some of our partners that are really leading innovation in multiple aspects of technology. We do have hundreds, actually thousands of partners, but these are some of the names that we've done a lot of business with and we work with to deliver cutting edge technology to our customers. So now really at a high level, kind of talk about the role of system integrators when it comes to Open RAN and generally solution disaggregation in the mobile space. Really the value of system integrators is helping operators achieve the benefits of disaggregation while providing a single hand to shake and minimizing risk when it comes to deploying solutions in a timely manner and achieving the scalability, the agility, the cost efficiency, and the speed to market that really disaggregation like Open RAN and provide, right? So balancing the openness and innovation with doing business in a reliable manner that doesn't sacrifice the quality and the consistency that service providers expect from their vendors. And that's really where system integrators like WWT add value and make great ideas, help make great ideas like Open RAN a reality for our industry. And in that respect, we have a 3-pillar service provider enablement model that involves our Advanced Technology Center that we call ATC for short, that really enables us and our partners to deliver products, new products and solutions. And we tie that in with our global supply chain that allows us to deliver large scale deployments with consistency. And we couple that with our implementation services, consulting services, lab services, and strategic staffing. And I'll be talking a little bit more about these capabilities that we have in the next few slides. So specifically for our mobility and wireless programs, these 3 pillars map into the 5 services that we offer. The first one is solution definition, validation, and testing. This is where we bring in new technologies like Open RAN, right? Multi-vendor solutions, disaggregated solutions, and do proof of concepts, architectural validation, and make sure that we run functional and performance tests that really allow us to confirm these solutions meet the requirements that our customers have. And then we take that to designing and scoping and planning these solutions for specific markets, specific sites, and then that goes into our global supply chain program where we do staging and solution build-outs and shipping that allows us to deploy these technologies at scale globally. And this centralized staging and deployment solution really helps accelerate time to market, time to deployment from 3 to 12 months. And this is very, very critical, especially in this day and age where supply chain is a big challenge. And in addition to shortening the deployment timelines, this allows our customers to achieve higher quality and consistency, right? And minimize failure rates, especially as you roll out newer technology. And then, we couple this steps that I've talked about so far with our on-site deployment and then services for those solutions. And then throughout the lifespan of these solutions, we want to make sure that our customers get the required support and maintenance and lifecycle management. So just talking about a little bit about the first pillar, which is our Advanced Technology Center. That's a facility that consists of 4 data centers, soon to be 5, where we bring in these world-class technology leaders, our partners, with our design capabilities, and allow our partners and our customers to work together to provide an environment where new technology can be created by bringing all this expertise. So if you look at RAN, you bring in RAN solution providers, you bring in security providers, and all the players in the Open RAN to come together and work and validate solutions that can meet customer requirements. and we help our customers, our partners, take those solutions to market. In our facility at a high level, at this point, we have more than 20,000 VMs, and to date, we've actually invested more than $600 million in infrastructure in our labs. We have more than 200 OEMs, and our customers and partners can access these labs globally, right, from anywhere, anytime. So this really provides a fantastic environment for new innovative technologies like Open RAN. And our global supply chain today takes place using more than 4 million square feet of space that we have on 3 continents, right? In our headquarters in St. Louis, we have facilities in Amsterdam, Singapore, and Mumbai as well, globally, where we provide staging integration, material planning, order management, and just-in-time delivery. Deploying at scale with global supply chain is very complex, especially right now. And our teams can simplify this process, right? The supply chain by acting as your single point of contact to procure hardware and software, design, build, test, and deploy fully integrated systems on time and on budget. And as you know, technologies is moving fast. This is very critical, right? And we see this add a ton of value to our customers. And I know I've talked a bit about our capability here as a system integrator and as a case study, and we've been doing this for a while at a large scale. And in this case study, this is what we do for a tier 1 communication service provider. We help them manage their forward and reverse logistics, help them deploy their nationwide radio access network. And throughout this process, we save them tens of millions of dollars and help them achieve timely delivery of their mobile network. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Wonderful. Thank you so much to Johannes and to all of our speakers from the 13 companies featured today, spanning across all 4 of the Quad economies and beyond. It's now my absolute privilege to welcome Mr. Balaji, Chair of the National Digital Communications Council at ASSOCHAM, to provide some closing remarks. Balaji, wonderful to see you again, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alex. It's always a delight to be with you and all our colleagues. Good morning, good day, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute privilege and an honor to be part of this O-RAN showcase. Frankly, the showcase has demonstrated the depth of ecosystem partners around the globe and the Quad nations that are working on Open RAN. As ASSOCHAM, we've been part of this O-RAN journey for the last 2 years. It has been extremely rewarding for us as we've engaged with governments, with like-minded organizations such as the Open RAN Coalition Forum and others, and with companies to create a great momentum for Open RAN. You already saw presentations from some of our members like Tech Mahindra and Sterlite today. I think the pandemic has brought forth the integral role technology plays in daily lives and has significantly accelerated the digital transformation across sectors. And therefore, against this backdrop, the importance for secure and trusted network infrastructure, and also the added benefit of increased competition, choice, and affordability that comes with open and interoperable standards make O-RAN a very, very compelling proposition. Today's showcase represents another milestone in the O-RAN journey, and we have some fantastic insights into the progress made by various stakeholders in this O-RAN community, from companies to governments, and the commitment that the government has to support this process was very visible today. At ASSOCHAM, we have also taken the lead in working this initiative in India, and we've set up an Open RAN task force. And the purpose of the task force is to promote Open RAN, facilitate standards and policy formulation, and define an adoption plan for the Indian industry to deliver the benefits that O-RAN can offer to develop an expanded ecosystem of mobile access operators and players. This initiative becomes even more important in the times to come as India and many countries across the world are on their 5G journey. With 5G proliferation to start in India soon, with potential spectrum auctions coming later this year, it is very evident that the demand will only grow for deployment of Open RAN. And the challenges that are there in deploying 5G services and building cost-effective network will be addressed by this architecture. For the Indian telecom companies, O-RAN is a viable method that can cut the network-related costs and the OpEx, and also allow for more customizations as we upgrade networks to 5G technology. It will also help Indian software companies and equipment makers to not only get a slice of the Indian market, but also to have a piece of the global 5G ecosystem and market that's emerging. We believe that the transformation that O-RAN would yield in terms of network performance, enhanced flexibility, agility, and efficiency will only further accelerate its deployment. And additionally, the market would benefit from the accelerated time to market of new services and functions. The role of equipment providers, software companies, hardware companies, system integrators, all of them is super critical, and the interworking of them will only make innovation happen even faster in this space. For the success of O-RAN, of course, all stakeholders such as government, communication services providers, vendors, system integrators, hardware providers will have to work together. There is no other way. And I think this initiative that we have across the Quad nations, as well as other global standards bodies, will only help accelerate that process even further. Just to say that the Open RAN task force that ASSOCHAM has put together is very, very keen and is going to work in a driven manner to accelerate the adoption of Open RAN, to foster innovation further and expand the supply chain for advanced wireless technologies, and encompass all industry stakeholders and government to jointly create a path for successful adoption of Open RAN. And we are quite certain that initiatives like the one which we are part of today, and the wonderful cooperation and partnership that we receive, and in fact even best practice sharing and handholding in some cases, will make us even more successful in the future. I would just once again, as Alex said, thank all the participants that came today to share their wonderful insights on what they're doing in order to bring innovation to fore and to actually solve transformative problems that societies, enterprises, and nations across the world are facing. And with that, once more, thank you for making me a part of this fabulous journey, and over to you, Alex.
Well, thank you, Balaji. I think that's a wonderful way to close out our program today. My only final thanks would be to the audience for joining us today, and as you say, of course, to our valued partners over at ASSOCHAM and KDOM-REN and the US Chamber of Commerce for their part in pulling together today's agenda. We hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you've learned a lot about the scope of capabilities that's out there today, and hope that everybody has a good day or good evening wherever you are in the world.